Jiro. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baik, di sini kami akan bercerita mengenai naratif teks dengan judul Cinderella. Introduce my team. Dengan saya sendiri, nama saya Syafila. Dengan anggota saya Alfaulia Zahra, Citra Jayanti Mandasari, Errora Adinda, dan Nanda Siti Aisyah. Untuk selanjutnya, kami akan bercerita.
Okay. A long, long time ago, in a beautiful kingdom with a big, majestic castle, there lived an old widower who had a very beautiful daughter named Ella. He loved her above all else, trying to rise as well as he could being a single dad. She had a very kind heart, just like her mother had, and she was very hardworking and always loved to help. After many long years of loneliness, Ella's father met another woman. He decided he was going to marry her. She seemed to be a kind, loving person at first. He thought she would make a wonderful mother for Ella, but the truth was that his wife was spiteful, selfish, self-centered, and as fine as a peacock. She revealed her truly arrogant and hateful nature right after the wedding, when it was too late for him to change his mind. Unfortunately, the woman's two daughters, Nina and Lena, weren't any better. They were lazy and mean, and as fine as their mother. Most of their time was spent in front of a mirror when they would stare at themselves for hours. They particularly loved brushing their pretty hair, putting on green eyeshadow, and soaking their big feet in a large tub of water. Since the very first day she moved in, Ella's new stepmother started treating her terribly. She was cruel and unkind because she couldn't accept that her husband's daughter was far sweeter, more beautiful, and more skilled at almost anything than his own two daughters. Ella's father traveled a lot for work and was not often home. And whenever he was away, the three arrogant women would force the poor girl to be their personal handmaiden. She had to serve them, comb their brittle hair, and attend to their every whim as if they were queens. Every day they would give her the worst and dirtiest jobs. Sometimes they would make her work so hard that she wouldn't be able to leave the house for several days in a row. She would have to wash piles and piles of dirty, smelly dishes, with the floors covered in muck, cooking their favorite food. Soon their stinky sock with holes, and sweep the heart of what they did burn it of her in the day. What made her stepmother and sister even angrier wasn't the fact that even though her face was always smeared with ash, it didn't mean that it didn't take away from her beauty in the slightest. Somehow, Ella was even prettier when she was dirty. Her evil stepmother, however, didn't her to know this. Look at yourself, you flighty girl. Even your dress is black with soot from all that crawling through the ash and cinder in the fireplace. From now on, I will call you Cinderella, the stepmother said mockingly, and after that, she and her terrible daughter would only ever call her Cinderella. As time passed, Cinderella's father stayed way longer and longer. When he came home, his stepmother had him wrapped around her finger, and he was so bewitched by her that he never noticed that his daughter was being kept away from him. Soon, her stepsister stole all her pretty clothes, leaving her with only two old ragged dresses. They even kicked her out of her own room and forced her to sleep in the attic while they both enjoyed the comfort of their new fancy bedroom as they slept under soft, adorned blankets. Cinderella left only with an old ragged blanket from her childhood. Poor Cinderella had to put up with their cruelty every single day, not knowing how to escape. When her father came home, she never seemed to be able to find him. Sometimes she hid in a corner and wept in silence. She didn't dare to complain. Who would listen to her anyway? Then one day, the family was invited to a 3-day ball at the royal palace. It had been announced and then the handsome young prince was going to pick a bride there.
Cinderella's stepmother and sister were practically jumping with joy as they read the invitation, and Nina and Lena immediately start striking about the gowns and jewelry with which they will surely enchant the prince. They argued and argued about whose health or necklace was more beautiful. All will, Cinderella mopped the dirty floors and listened. The complete beaded gowns and satin shoes to match their golden necklace, completely ignoring Ella to make the truth carry a bit more bearable. She would often sing songs while working, and all the birds on the trees outside usually joined in. Cinderella was, of course, also excited about the ball, hoping she could go as well. She wanted very badly to see the prince with her own eyes, but when she asked her stepmother for permission to attend, she just laughed. Don't be stupid, Cinderella. I'm sure the prince would want to look at the little creature like you. Look at yourself. You're all dirty again. Have you heard have you heard her, Nina? Lena screamed out. Cinderella wants to go to the royal ball. Nina came into the room with a sneer on her face. Cinderella wants to go to the ball? Our Cinderella! Cat with dirt all over her face and under her fingernails. What could she possibly wear to meet the prince her age? Or maybe she's got a potato sexy can go in. But girls start cackling. Well, she could take a broom with her to sweep all the cobwebs from the golden callings, snickered Lena. Cinderella was super upset and tried very hard not to cry. She was her father was home to hear this, but then what would he do? That made her more sad, so she just talked of happy things. Stop dreaming, you fool. Now go and see that you finish all your work, said her stepmother sternly, and she marched out of the room, followed by her two snickering doctors. For the next few days, everything in the house revolves around the ball and Cinderella's stepsisters, who spent all their who spent all their time preening, trying on dress and jewels, completely unable to make up their minds about what to wear to attract the prince's attention. Before they knew it, the big day arrived. The house was bustling with last minute preparation for their departure, and everyone was full of joy and excited to finally meet the royal family. Everyone, of course, except Cinderella, who had been walking around the house like a ghost all morning. When her stepmother and stepsister finally climbed in the carriage, she had tears in her eyes. You had better good you had better get to work, Cinderella, if you want to finish before get home. Her stepmother yelled from the carriage. I'll stop crying. You know that you will be a stock in the palace. We're just saving you from embarrassment. The horse snake is if So say goodbye and we love you. Then trot towards the palace. Cinderella ran back inside. Feeling completely blue and miserable, she sat down in corner filled with cobwebs and weed. If only I could meet the prince. If only I could go to the beautiful wall and be beautiful. Her sobbing echoed through the whole house. Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice. She looked up and saw a beautiful, magical fairy. The fairy was wearing clothes that sparkled different colors as she flew close to Cinderella. Pinks and green and blues. By the time she landed next to her, this must be her very good mother, she thought. She hoped and she was. I'm your very good mother, sweetheart. Then sneezed. Her cheeks turned red. Sorry, allergies, you know. It Mother Cinderella laughed.
Don't be sad, my dear child, the fairy said. If you truly want to go to the ball, I can get you there. Now go to the vegetable garden and fetch me a big, fat pumpkin, please. Cinderella had no idea what a pumpkin had to do with the ball, but the but she ran to the garden straight away. She picked up the biggest pumpkin she, she could find, and as soon as she put it on the ground in front of the fire, it turned into a beautiful garden carriage. Then the fire spoke again. Wonderful, my dear. Now find me 4 mice, if you please. I'm sure there are a few running around the country. Cinderella talked about it and worried. She'd been feeding a family of mice secretly. Would they be in danger? Cinderella hurried to the pantry and quickly turned with 4 great mice squeaking in a basket. As soon as she put them on the ground, they turned into 4 gorgeous grey horses. They looked at her and snorted, pawing and almost smiling at her. The girl had never seen such miracle in her life. She could believe her eyes and just stood there staring at the horse and the carriage, not uttering a sound. Pumpkin and mice unavailable. The carriage is going to take you the royal place, my darling girl, the fairy said gently. There's just a thing left to do. After all, it would be wise to apart in front of the prince in a dress like this, would it? And just like that, Cinderella, a red dress, mirroring black with us and suit, suddenly turned into a breathtaking ball gown. When she looked at her, but she was wearing the loveliest little slipper she ever seen. Her gown, her gown was white with silver tinsy bills and blue satin around the edges. She shoes were pure blue satin with white bows. Now remember, my dear, you must be back before midnight. This is very important because that when my fire spell will be broken. Eager and excited, Cinderella climbed into the carriage and let it take her to the place. When Cinderella, when Cinderella, when Cinderella entered the place, the private court sent a message to the prince to tell him that one more princess had arrived at the ball, and this one more beautiful than any of the other princes yet. No one had ever heard of her, till the prince himself come to greet her. When he saw the beautiful, mysterious princess, he immediately fell in love. He gently took her hand and led her into a great hall full honored guests and delightful violin melodies. The moment they stepped in the wall room fell silent. All of guests stopped dancing, and even the music, musician and stopped playing. Everyone just stood there and stared in a way at the beautiful woman on the prince's arm. A hum of excited voices soon filled the hall when the guests started asking one another. Such a striking girl! She's so pretty. Do you know her? Who is she? Where has she come from? And what what a gorgeous girl! Have you seen or met her before? Wow! The king was calm, calm as well, and has turned to the queen and whispered in her ear that her that he had no idea who the girl was, but that she was incredibly beautiful and more important, importantly, she made to the making his soon smile from ear to ear. They had never seen two prince look so happy. And the ladies admired her tuning dress. They never in their life seen such delicate coverage. At her part table, Nina and Lena sat alone and ate grapes, full of envy and anger. They stared at the mysterious princess with their mouths open, compen- completely dumbstruck and very jealous. The longer they gaped at her, the more familiar she looked, but they did even image that they might know her.
Then the prince asked Cinderella to dance. The musician quickly collected themselves and started playing again. The prince was completely mesmerized by the girl and she by him. The whole, the whole time they were danced, he could take his eyes off her. They danced and danced all night, never stopping even to have a drink of water. They just looked at each other happily and well and well the night away. Suddenly the bell started ringing, announcing 15 minutes to midnight. Oh no, I have to go, Cinderella cried. What? Will I see you again? The prince exclaimed. I try, she said, and she thrust quickly to the prince and scuttled away in her snippers, climbed into her carriage, and headed back to her dreaded home. Cinderella spent the whole trip trying to think of a way to get to the palace the next day as well. As soon as I arrived home, The clock struck midnight. Her carines and hers once again became a pumpkin, and her four favorite mice and her dress shrunk back one into dirty, ugly rags. In the morning, the door into the kitchen swung open, and Cinderella, nasty stepsister, sat anxiously inside. They clothed way to the hair about the magnificence, ball, and all the things she had missed. They even told her all about the mysterious princess in the beautiful dress who had kept the prince to, herself all night before running away very suddenly. Cinderella, who was busy putting clean pots and dishes back into the cupboard, listened to their stories, and will they finish, she asked them what the name of the princess. Of course, they could answer her question. No one, no one knew her name, not even the prince. He had absolutely no idea who, who the mysterious girl was, which is why he had asked every single person at the ball about who she was. He was desperate to find her. She must have been thoroughly cursed, Cinderella said courteously. You were so lucky that you saw her. I wish I could see her as well. Do you think perhaps I could borrow you yellow coat and go with you tonight, my dear sister? You borrow my dress? Nina burst into mocking laughter. Are you crazy? I sooner land into the chimney sweep, still laughing. She left the kitchen, slamming the door behind her. Cinderella did expect anything, of course, and was uh, actually happy that her sister had said no. The day flew by fast. The sisters spent it passing each other away from the mirror so they could use, use it. They fought over which dress to wear to ball and how to wear their hair. The hair Cinderella was, of course, waiting of them hand and foot, will will us doing all the other jobs around the house that need doing. She gathered the eggs from cook, cooking hands, swept and mopped the floors, wiped down the table of her sister had used their beauty powder, and finally sat to rest. Before they knew it, Nina, Lena, and their mother were back at the palace and having a good time at the ball. The great hall full of ghosts, just like the day before. They were all dancing, feasting, enjoying themselves. They smiled and laughed, but mostly Everyone was waiting to see if the beautiful princess returned. Suddenly, everyone fell silent when they looked at the door. They once again saw the mysterious princess. She was wearing a crown that was even more beautiful than the one before. It was red this time, shining in the light with sparkles and a dark purple whites. Her nipples seemed to be made of crystal glass. Again the prince went to meet her at the door before gently taking her hand and leading her to her dance floor. Their tail kicked and looked and danced, and Cinderella was so happy that she forgot the clock. Unfortunately, this time the bells weren't round, so she had no warning.
But she was already gone. The only thing she had left behind was one of her tiny glass silk lying on the palace stairs. When morning came, Cinderella still had not received the last palace gate. All of a sudden, the spell lost all its power. The carriage disappeared. Her maze ran in all different directions in fear, and she was in her old dress met with us again. For some reason, she was still wearing one of her pretty little slippers. She took it off and held it close to her as she ran home as fast as she could in her bare feet. The prince, too, had run toward the palace gates, and when he passed the large guard, he turned around and asked them if they had seen the princess leaving. But they hadn't seen anyone except some poor girl in old dirty clothes. Luckily, Cinderella still got home before her family. When she heard her stepmother and sister coming in their carriage, she quickly ran out to greet him. How was the ball, my dear sister? Did you have a good time? Did you see the mysterious prince again? Her sister told her that the princess had aimed at Arif, but that she had again quickly run off right before midnight. The prince was with her all night. He surely fallen in love with her. Lena sighed, Miser. Perhaps the prince was with her at night. He surely fallen in love with her. Lena sighed, miserable. Perhaps he won't find her and the hell fell in love with me instead. Nina sighed, hopeful.